What's the best way to improve being able to fly in DCL the game? So obviously, putting in the time, we know that, but are there, certain things that you guys do in your practice routine when you're training in DCL the game that you feel have been able to help you become better pilots?
I might go first with this one. In my opinion, the absolute best way to improve in sim racing or racing in general is to find someone on your same level that wants it as bad as you want it to. Like during the past 2 years, I always found pilots that I was grinding a lot with because I just didn't want them to be faster than me.
Okay.
Like I brought up the example with Halo Walker back in the day, grinding for the DCL Draft 2 in 2020. And each day I woke up, the first time I checked was, did Halo Walker beat my time? And if he did, then I would just go onto a 2-hour grind session and get it back. And then he probably sees it in the afternoon and was like, oh no, I ain't giving Star that heat. So he started grinding. And like, if you find someone that pushes you and you push him, then that's the way that you both obviously gonna improve a lot. But in my opinion, that's also the best way to just start learning new stuff and start flying out of your comfort zone to get faster.
Do you also use that person, like, do you, spectate the way that they do lines and stuff and use that as inspiration? Or is it just like you're doing your thing and you just want to be faster?
I think usually at some point, I mean, at the start, yes, you should absolutely check out some other lines from faster pilots because you can learn something from that. But at some point, the lines are going to get super similar. Like there's, in these races in DCL, you saw sometimes pilots taking a turn from the left or from the right, but in general, the lines were exactly the same. So you don't really need to watch them. You just know they're going to do the same thing. You maybe check one time on them if there's something weird, some shortcut or something that you're missing. But in general, everyone flies basically the same line, and then you just try to make it as fast as you can.
Ashton, what would you say your number one tip to getting better in sim racing would be?
Yeah, Thomas, that's like a really good thing to do. I unfortunately don't have many IRL friends in FPV. They have all kind of left. But, finding a team or someone to, fly with is the best thing you can do because doing it alone, like, is kind of, it's kind of lonely. So you do need a team. But having someone to always push you, both IRL and DCL, is the biggest thing ever. If you practice hundreds and hundreds of times by yourself and you never saw anyone else fly, you might be miles behind everybody just because you didn't know that you need to push as hard as you do. My second thing would be is you can't ever settle for a time that you've gotten on a track. There's been multiple times where I've gotten a time and I'm like, I can't beat this. This is done. Never going to beat it again. And I end up coming to the track, a week later and end up somehow beating it by like a second and a half. And I'm like, whoa. And sometimes, you need to step back and really not just be grinding and grinding and grinding. Take breaks. But yeah.
Do you feel like if you're grinding nonstop, you kind of get in your head too much?
It's different for other people. I know, like, some of my teammates are, like, yeah, they can play for hours and hours on end and somehow never, seem to get tired or anything. That's not the case for me. I need to take some breaks and step back and be like, oh, I'm keep hitting the same spot. I need to change that,
And what about you, Silas? What would you say your number one tip for improving in DCL the game is?
I'd say just nothing beats stick time. It's so hard. Like, stick time is just so important. I mean, you basically just can't go wrong with just having repetition and flying over and over again and putting in those hours. But outside of that, I think knowing your lines and knowing why you take those lines is really important. I'm a big believer in studying lines and figuring out the best way to enter gates to find that perfect apex line where you're going to keep the most momentum. Me and my team, we do that a lot after races, is after group practice, we'll go through and look at, oh, why do you take this line? Oh, you're going a little bit wider here to carry some more momentum through this next gate. So I think studying your own lines and figuring out where you can carry more momentum or go tighter is also really important. But then again, nothing beats stick time.